need balance. Because with the balance, it raises the gold liquid and it allows the silver liquid to recede. Right? And when all four chambers is filled with the gold liquid, then that's all four vaults filled with gold. The inheritance becomes imminent.
And it's sacred as well. You still have to protect what you got at the same time. And in order to get all those messages, one, you know, your pineal gland got to be open. That's one. And you got to be in tune with yourself without all these distractions and or access to your auric field, that you're seeing all these other energies and you're interacting and you're exchanging also with other parties, including that you're sharing your body with somebody that you don't know that they're actually taking from you. They can steal information from you even through that. But you got to be so sacred to sit and receive those messages that you're thinking like you being alone is a problem. You being alone is a gift. It's a gift that now you can sit there and receive all this information, especially as the feminine, because we have more contacts. We have more pure contact, and you got to receive and you got to sit in protection. You just can't give the information to everybody. Something my elder, I actually talked to one of my uncles today, and then he said, the words got to be received by the worthy ears, by the worthy ears. Who is supposed to hear or receive that message from you? You can't give it to everybody either. You can't loosely speak like, oh, I deciphered this message to everybody either. You gotta know what you receive. If it's for you, it's for you only, and it's sacred until you find worthy of an ear to hear or receive that message to apply whatever it is. Whatever it is.
That's called distinguish between personal message and public messages. Because the personal message can be for one person. That means you ain't supposed to tell it to everybody. But a public message, right? That means it's be put out into the public because everybody needs to know this information. And that's how that was one of the tests on knowing what to say when you talking to a mass of people. I'm not finna come up and tell you my personal business. It ain't your business what amusement park me and my child went to last year.
Right.
But it's your business to know where you being deceived at. So I have to tell you that. That's public knowledge, public information. It's something that the public has been duped on that they're unaware of. It becomes my responsibility to tell them because I discovered it.
Right. The way that you're sharing stuff and the way that I felt like this whole time that I didn't realize like how much of that sharing was very intentional and very on record, so to say, that it helps somebody else to move forward with whatever they're supposed to receive. And I was raised that way, like not to share all your information to everybody anyway. That's not their business. My father and my mother, they raised me to not to share until it's okay to share. Right. Even
because they're teaching you how to discern when to share, because when they was coming up and before them, they would have been at my door with a lynch mob. Because they classify me as one of them smart niggas. You one of them smart niggas. You too smart for your own goddamn good.
And you get targeted for that. They will come chase you for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because you're a threat.
The only thing that they didn't take into account is I'm watching y'all do this to everybody else. Why would I allow you to do it to me? Right? There has to be a remedy. I'm supposed to be angry. Okay, I acknowledge that. I got my anger intact. Right? Now what I'm going to do with it? That's the key.
Yep.
So I use it to my advantage and my opponent's disadvantage.
Yep. And that's the information sharing that is important, to hold it close to you before you speak it to everybody else, like overall. And people share too much, by the way, share too much on social media. And you just got to understand that it can be used against you.
That's deliberate because it's a psychological program at play. By getting used to sharing all of your business, people shouldn't. Somebody you meet should know your whole medical history in the first 30 minutes of meeting you.
Right.
They shouldn't even know when the last time you had a goddamn cold, because that's inconsequential to who you are and that you're meeting a new person.
Well, here's the other thing. You need to learn how to determine who needs to know your full name at this point. Why are you even giving
your real name?
Your real name. Right. People go to, like, I've always observed this because it's my observation, because you already know why I do it. So people go to restaurants or whatever, and they put their full alphabetical name. They go to Starbucks and order their name and under their name with their full name. So now somebody have that first information, which is already unique to you, right? They can find you on the social media quickly now. So now you're given important information on public space where somebody in that space can be tracking you. You don't know. You don't know the reason either. So now you put yourself out there. And then, like, people used to get mad, like, oh, you don't share anything about yourself, because privacy is your power. You cannot just be out there sharing yourself or sharing your information quickly at that. You need to zip your mouth before you speak. Be discerning of your space.
In the street, we call it screening you. You come over here and you say you such so and so, we still gonna screen you.
Right.
Right. If I go right now to South Central LA from where I'm at, considering everywhere I've been, and the guys that live there from there are gonna automatically know I'm not from there. By the way I talk, by the way I walk, the way I respond to information, they're going, he ain't from here.
Yep.
Where you from? Right? My ability to garner their respect by giving them their respect becomes a shield of protection. Right? You have to understand when you make moves, right? You moving according to information at all times. I could get them a nickname, but if they do the background the way a lot of them do now,
right,
they gonna come back and say that name came back void. Nobody over there where you say you from know you by that name. What do they call you? Right? So now I gotta tell them either my hood nickname, what they call me here, or I gotta tell them my government. Now they go do the check. Oh yeah, you was locked up with so and so. You did 8 years over here, and then before that you was living in Chicago, and you was over here fucking with them. I know who you is.
But you also remember, like, from old school times, this tribal stuff anyway.
So your
name will make it to that tribe, because if you're already popular and you already have a standing on who you are, like, you already have a popularity in tribal history.
Yeah.
They already checked for you. You're so-and-so's son, right? They call it son. Like, if you look at the, most of the Ottoman last names are so-and-so's son. Every last name ends with a son. So that's like coming from that tribal's chiefs, whatever their name is, son, from these sons.
That's how all of the chiefs under the European system have names like Sonny, Sonny Boy, Son, right? Everybody know they got an uncle named Sonny or a cousin named Sonny or something.
Yeah.
Those are chiefs, right? Also the name Ray, right? And the variants of the name Ray. Ray comes from the root Ra, right? So we would use that, knowing what the original definition was, to ascribe names for us to be able to find it. Just like explaining to you how to find somebody in the dark while you blindfolded. right? They used the understanding the names to tell us who we was without the enemy, even though we was having a conversation. Right. By me studying names, because I do quirky shit like that, allows me to see what all these names come from. Remember, one of the symbolisms to the war bonnet, the full war bonnet of the chief, is the radiance of the sun. Right? Because the sun is the air that's the sun, it's the golden child.
Yep.
Right? So when we go out into the field and we put in work, the clans name us a secondary name. Right? And that secondary name is the name that becomes the tag, the nickname. Because now everybody know who Big Meech is. Right? You say Big Meech, oh, BMF. Tribally, they don't know his job is to train the prince up and coming how to live without letting money rule their life. Live with the money, use the money. Don't let the money use you. The enemy has been draining you by making the money use you.
Yeah.
So Big Meech was doing the job in real time, and what qualified him for the position is he done it for himself. I just got a 30-second warning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, great talking to you as usual.
You too. But I'm not gonna come back on after this one. I'm gonna go kick back and relax. But tomorrow, Young Elder, I think it's at 8 or 9. Tomorrow, it's going down.
This is a public service announcement. 9/13, born of the Queen Mother. Notice the agent, notice the principal. This is a continuity of government directive. Department of Defense on notice. Department of Homeland Security on notice. The continuity of government continuation protocols being put in place. All tribes being notified. Directive and order from the widow to the widow's son. Preparing all the people displaced across the land to be prepared to receive the new government. That being said, the following applies. So the widow has given the instructions to the widow's son that all of the protocols in play for continuity of government is now in a status of reconstitution of the new government. All of those who have been displaced and usurped by the legal fictions, by the artificial corporations, and all artificial agents acting under the color of law, being colorable law, in violation of the color of law, U.S. Code 1983, are now on notice that all former governmental applications are hereby suspended. All of the chiefs who are held in concealed status shall be made known to the public. The continuation of the continuity of government has altered status from continuity status to reconstitution status. This is being directly addressing the Raven Rock continuity of government offices to let all of the generals and chiefs involved in the continuity to be informed that the Queen Mother is not happy, and neither is the widow's son. And with that being said, I'm going to do a Q&A after, but this is going to be a short notice. All of the artificial banking institutions is hereby served immediate notice to cease and desist. All other artificial governmental functions and all operations carried out by AI, which is artificial intelligence, is to hereby be put on notice to cease and desist. All artificial media transfer to communicate to the people misleading and misinformation is to cease and desist. Any form of government that is practicing in default will be subject to the penalties of treason, etc. And with that being said, we are no longer under continuity of government status. We are now in what is called Reconstitution of government. All of the chiefs must be made known to the public and their status known to the public as soon as possible. There should be no further delay in the people being informed and the veil being lifted and the ignorance being subjugated by information. So with this notice comes the directive that all of the tribes are hereby reconstituted to their original status prior to the invasion of 1492. Damn light keep cutting off. And the continuity status of original government be reinstituted under the tribal jurisdiction of tribal lands and tribal protections from the chiefs across the land. All of the chiefs have been selected by the matriarchy. All of the matriarchs are hereby instructed. They are now the lawgivers of the land under the great law. We are no longer under the constitutional fictions. We are now under the jurisdictional arrangement of the chiefs of the land and the grand matriarchs across the land. The lawgivers of the land being the 72 mothers of the land, with the direct heir being identified as the widow and her spokesperson being the widow's son, which is myself. After all of these things are taken in consideration by the continuity of government team, they have a minimum of 12 hours to begin to reveal to the people the status of the new government and the restoration of the new government. With that being said, I'm going to close this public service announcement and proceed with the Q&A. So if anybody got questions and y'all want to come and ask, y'all can come on to the live. I'll take a couple of questions. I don't know how many. I'm probably going to run an hour. So with that being said, again, all tribes to be restored to their original status, and all of the chiefs are to be restored to the status of chiefs on the land and the governors of the land according to the great law. We will no longer follow any law that is not the great law. And the great law is now in full effect, and the artificial and legal fictions are now cease and desist status. Anyone who disregards this order will be considered treasonous to the people and belligerent to the upcoming government that is being restored to its pristine form. With that, I'm going to close the public service announcement and I'm going to come back in for the Q&A. I'm going to give the people a minute to get in and try to get another light in on us, because the other light continues to. That's not going to work. Maybe this will work. Let's see how that look. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so I just finished the public service announcement, short and brief. It was a cease and desist for all of the artificial intelligence and false information that's being used to carry on the narrative to be come to an end. It's time for us to get to the part where we can know what's going on behind